All right, guys. So, we were sounding the alarm for a very long time before the election. Donald Trump is actually pro-war, and he's very pro-war, and his record is fucking abysmal on this issue. And there are plenty of people who voted for Trump who genuinely think, no, he's anti-war, and he's pro-worker, and that's why we're going to support him. Okay, well, they're in for a rude awakening. Here is Donald Trump's plan when it comes to drugs and overdoses and what to do about that. Okay? Let's listen and we'll break it down.
Our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and by all of the other crime that's taking place. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels. In this war, Joe Biden has sided against the United States and with the cartels. They are making more money than they've ever made before, times 10. There's never been anything like it. They're major companies. They're bigger than even some of our biggest companies. Biden's open border policies are a deadly betrayal of our nation.
Biden and Kamala deported more people as both a raw number and a percentage than Donald Trump did. Barack Obama was known as the deporter-in-chief. The idea that Democrats are left-wing on the border, they're for open borders, is total bullshit. And he knows it's bullshit. He doesn't care. All right, let's keep going.
When I am president, it will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels, just as we took down ISIS and the ISIS caliphate, and just as, unlike the situation we're in today, we had a very, very strong border, the strongest border, in fact, in the history of our country.
Fewer people were coming across the border because a fucking deadly plague was rocketing through the population throughout the world.
Drugs were at a low of 45 years. There's been nothing like what we did just 2 years ago. We will show no mercy on the cartels. Every day, drug traffickers are using the waters of our region to ship their lethal poisons to America, killing so many of our people and ruining families. In addition to restoring strong border security, I will deploy all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose the full naval embargo on the cartels. I did that before, and it worked. What we did was incredible. We will guarantee that the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs to our country. Furthermore, I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. I will designate the major cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We will sever their access to global financial systems. I will also work to forge an unprecedented partnership with neighboring governments in our region, just like I did in Mexico. And remember, in Mexico alone, an estimated 100,000 civilians have been tragically murdered or gone missing at the hands of these cartels. The Mexican government, run by a very fine man, the president, is really working hard, but it's not working out.
This was back when AMLO was president, but now it's Claudia Sheinblum, and she's part of the same party as AMLO.
These cartels are vicious and they're violent, and they have Mexico for now stymied. Well, we have to help Mexico, and we have to stymie the cartels. Either we will get the full cooperation of other governments to stop this menace, or we will expose every bribe, every kickback, every payoff, and every bit of corruption that is allowing the cartels to preserve their brutal reign, and it is indeed brutal. Finally, as I have said before, I will ask Congress to pass legislation ensuring that drug smugglers and human traffickers receive the death penalty.
Unconstitutional, by the way. Drug smugglers get the death penalty? That's wildly unconstitutional. It's against protection from cruel and unusual punishment. I hope everybody understands what he's calling for here. He's calling for, let's do an all-out war on Mexico, on the drug cartels. He said designate them terrorist organizations and do an embargo. And this would mean special forces, would mean airstrikes. So Mr. Anti-War wants war with Mexico. Just to be clear, so everybody understands. AMLO before and Claudia now, they say, no, we don't want you to invade us and do airstrikes against the cartels. This is not the path. By the way, I love how everybody agreed 7.5 minutes ago, man, the drug war is really fucking stupid. The drug war really hasn't worked. Maybe the idea is legalize, tax, and regulate drugs. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe this is the exact same as prohibition, and prohibition was a horrible failure. We should not go in that direction. Now, he's saying, let's take the war on drugs and make it worse. Make it more violent. Escalate further. It's not going to solve the problem, and there's going to be a lot of fucking dead bodies, and there's going to be a lot of international laws violated in the process. This is fucking incredible, bro. This is incredible. Mr. Anti-War. Let's do war with Mexico. Let's do war with the drug cartels. Let's designate them terrorist organizations and go do airstrikes and do an embargo. And this is fucking crazy. This is crazy. And by the way, he doesn't say it here, but Trump has said in the past, drug users should get the death penalty. Drug dealers and drug users. He wants to copy Duterte in the Philippines, who basically was doing a fucking genocide of drug users and drug dealers. Now, would he take that same stance vis-a-vis, I don't know, the CEO of fucking Budweiser or Pfizer or any of them? No, of course not. Of course. They make the cut. It's unbelievable, man.
Their allies in the Biden administration have the blood of countless millions on their hands. Millions and millions of families and people are being destroyed. When I'm back in the White House, the drug kingpins and vicious traffickers will never sleep soundly again. We did it once, and we did it better than anybody else. There's never been a better border than we had just 2 years ago. It was strong, it was powerful, and it was respected all over the world. And now we're laughed at all over the world. And we're not going to let that happen much longer. We have to take over. We have to be tough. We have to be smart. We have to be fair. But if we don't do something immediately, our country is gone.
Now, by the way, I should point out, this is probably the most important point. You do know overdoses have gone down a lot, right? Overdoses have dropped massively. You want to know why that is? Because the Biden administration made, what is it, naloxone or Narcan? I forget what the name is. But basically the anti-opioid drug that they give people when they're overdosing, they've made that available over the counter. And now it's much more widely available. And so whenever anybody's ODing, they administer it and the person doesn't die. So the Biden administration has massively reduced overdose deaths by basically taking the polar opposite approach to what Trump is talking about here. Polar opposite approach. But, you know, big tough man, bro. We're going to do, you ready for this, guys? We're going to do, here's my idea. Ready? Here's my idea. Let's do like a war on drugs. We haven't tried that before, right? We haven't wasted trillions of dollars doing that before, right? We haven't made the problem worse with that before, right? Don't you guys remember there was a Nixon administration official who came out and really spilled all the tea on the drug war and basically said, yeah, we were using the drug war as a political tool. We knew that like hippie white people didn't support us, minorities didn't support us, so we used the drug war as an excuse to take giant swaths of those populations and lock them up. Go read the quote. Go read the quote. It's an amazing quote on the drug war, which is just mind-boggling. But what Trump is saying is, let's take the idea of the drug war and inject it with steroids and human growth hormone and make it significantly worse and significantly more violent and make it something that nobody's fucking asking for. What am I going to do with these people? What am I going to do with these people? Mr. Anti-War wants war with Mexico. Working on it as we speak. Isn't that lovely? Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.